What's going on, everybody? This is Drew here. I want to welcome you all to a brand new episode of Phoenix Down. This is Phoenix Down 130.1, and we are continuing and finishing our playthrough of Dragon Age: The Veilguard 5 months later. Today I have with me Matt.
Hello.
And yeah.
I was going to say it's been a while, but I feel like now that's what I say on every episode.
Every episode, yeah. I'm trying to get more consistent. I really am. And I think I'm starting to get the time for it. We'll see.
Life settling down a bit?
I think so. You never know. We go on a day-to-day basis here. But, yeah, we wanted to wrap up Dragon Age. I think I finished this game probably... Geez, it's probably been a month now. We just haven't been able to record. You probably finished it longer than that ago, right?
Yeah, it's been a little while. I'm trying to look at when I actually finished it. It was June 26th.
I think I did it probably about a month ago. So, yeah. Which is okay. I mean, I took my time with it. And I'll be honest with you, I can't remember what we talked about in the last recording, but the last third of this game feels like an actual Dragon Age game.
Yeah. Would
be the best way to describe it. It just felt like filler, the first half. It didn't feel like your choices really mattered that much. It didn't seem like your party members cared really what you did. They'd say, "Oh, approved and disapproved," but it was almost too gamey, because I was like, all right, well, if I do this, I know they're not gonna like this, and then he's not gonna like this, but she's gonna love it, you know. But I would say, when I started doing the Heroes of the Veilguard quests was when the stuff started really kicking in.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. It's hard to break it into thirds for me, but those threads, they kind of go through the whole game, but I don't feel like I spent as much time with them until the second half, certainly.
Yeah.
And until I started to realize that they were completable in the not too distant future. I spent a lot of time saying, all right, I'm going to focus on a character and push it as far as I can and see if I can finish it. And doing them in bunches like that, I think, brought out the character aspect of it. For me, if it's just kind of seeded through the whole game, like let's say it's 4 or 5 missions, but over 50 hours, it's hard to keep that thread together. Maybe I'm just my memory is just not very good in my old age, but when I could bunch them together, it just made a lot more sense. I felt a lot more connected to the characters that I was helping.
Yeah, and I think if handled better, it wouldn't have been bunched all at the end, because I feel like the last probably, I don't know, 10 to 15 hours of this game was doing the ending and just doing character quests, which I'm fine with. I mean, I feel like that was the best part of this game. But you could have spaced that out more. Like, I have no problem. I'm sure the game, because your character, your party members get stronger, they get better equipment whenever they turn into a hero of the Veilguard. But I wouldn't have had a problem with one of my characters becoming a hero of the Veilguard 10 hours into the game, like why not spread that stuff out a little bit and do some of the main story, but also do, a character quest and finish it, and it just felt like that, and maybe it was because of how I was playing, but like I said, the last half of this game felt more like a Dragon Age game than the first half. First half felt like I was just checking off boxes. But I mean, to me, the parts were better than the sum. Like, I really liked the characters. I liked the main story when it was when things were actually happening. There was a lot of main story stuff that was like, oh, we're going to investigate this, or we're going to go talk to these people. And I was just like, man, this is 5 hours of nothing. Like, but at the end, I mean, when things started ramping up, I mean, I was like, man, really, this should have been here well before the half of the game. But
yeah, I mean, even some of the other quests, some of the regional quests were pretty good in isolation.
Sure.
I'm thinking about some of the stuff. I think mostly it was Docktown with Nev, and you have to make a lot of decisions around who you want to be the leader of the people. Mm-hmm. Essentially, do you want to rule with an iron fist, or do you want, I think her name was Maeve, to kind of lead and be inspirational? But, and I feel like that was almost emblematic of a lot of the game for me, which is the concept sounds good, but maybe the execution wasn't very interesting.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I don't know that it matters. I ended up going with Maeve, and she ended up inspiring the people, and she ended up being a great leader, but it was all positive and inspirational and a little bit vanilla. Mm-hmm. She didn't have to hide any dark secrets to be, and battle her desire to be inspirational with the bad things she's done, right? There wasn't that kind of internal angst. It was just, do you want the inspirational person, or do you want the strong-willed person? That's it.
Yeah.
And so I feel like you set yourself up for such a great storyline, and that nothing really comes out of.
That's the thing. So I did the opposite. I made Nev kind of like the Batman of Docktown. Like she's going to rule from the shadows and make sure, whatever it takes kind of thing. And that was really the only character that I did the quote unquote renegade option. I don't really know what to call it. Mm-hmm. There's a option that's obviously morally good, and there's the option that is still kind of good, but a character may sacrifice a part of themselves to do it. And I did it with pretty much every character. So, with Harding, I had her accept who she is as a dwarf and not fall into the anger of the Titans. The crow. What's his name?
Lucanus.
Lucanus, I had him become the leader of the crows. I felt like I was going to have a bad ending with him because he was hardened.
Yeah, me too.
Because I chose Docktown over Antiva or Treviso. Let's see, Davrin. So I guess I did the selfish thing with Davrin. I did not set free the Griffins. I had them remain with the Grey Wardens. So I guess that's kind of like the morally bad thing. But they all seemed happy about it. Like all the Griffins were happy to be back with the Grey Wardens. So it felt like it didn't necessarily matter. And then with Emmerich, I chose for him to bring back his skeleton buddy, Manfred, rather than become a lich.
Yeah, I did too. And the weirdest thing, because I really liked that storyline. I really liked him wrestling with.
That's a really good one. Like that, I feel like that was probably one of the best ones.
Yeah, except I feel like it's really weird because why does he ask you what he should do, or us what he should do?
I think it's because he trusts Rook. Like, hey, you know better than I do.
But this is his big moral decision. Isn't this this is his whole character arc, and he just defers the decision.
This is true.
And I just thought that was weird. I'm like, wow, he has not taken any ownership over the decision of his life.
Yeah.
But it was fun. He works with Manfred. He becomes mortal or has to deal with his mortality, and realize that he's given up his dream, but he will work to help Manfred become, if not human, at least more complete.
And with, Balara, I had her give up the information to, or basically spread the information, so she learned of what the elves had did to the world. And I let her, the elves need to know where they came from.
Yeah.
Even if it may mean they did some bad things.
Did you get all of the characters to Heroes of the Veilguard status?
Yes, I did.
I did not.
Oh, really?
There's 2 that I didn't. I didn't finish Balara's quest. And apparently I didn't finish Tash's, although I thought I had. So I was...
Okay.
I realized too late that I still had one more section, I think, to her quest line. That's hard. So, I mean, we're obviously talking about spoilers. So, with Tash, I mean, did you rescue her mom or try to rescue her mom? Did you even get that far? I must not have gotten that far. I got to the point where I confronted the mother about, because we had like a dinner and Tash kind of came out to her and the mother didn't approve of it. And then I went and basically scolded her for not accepting Tash. Right. And I thought that was, I don't know, for some reason I'm like, oh, all right, I've told her off, it's reconciled, we must be done. Yeah, no, there's this whole quest line where like the Dragon King, another Antom, kidnaps Tasha's mom, and she doesn't make it regardless. I think there's no way to save the mom, and then you have kind of like a final: do I accept my Rivian side, or do I continue with the Kunari? And again, I went with the morally right one, which was accept who you are. You're Rivian, and I went with that. So was there never then a final acceptance from the mother? Yes. It was, well, yes and no. During that moment, like when they're talking, they kind of reconcile, but then she gets killed. And that's something that Tosh has to live with. And then you said that who else did you not have as a hero? Balara? Balara, yeah. Yeah, so you find out her brother's still alive, and he's working for another minor god, the one who kind of built the lighthouse area, I believe. Yeah. And you realize that he's wearing this mask that's kind of getting him controlled by that god, and you convince Balara, hey, I can probably save him, which you try, you can't, but he does turn good at the final moment kind of thing. And she, she accepts that. I think that's it. Yeah, I meant to finish them all, but then I had spent so much time just kind of doing regional quests and faction quests. At some point, I just said, you know what, I'm ready to just see the end done. Here. Yeah. Yeah. Did you get all the factions to strong? No. I think I had them all to at least like medium, neutral, whatever the medium one was. I think I got everybody to at least medium. I know I had Docktown all the way. I had the Veil Jumpers all the way. I had the Grey Wardens all the way. And then the rest were medium. Yeah, that's probably about roughly the mix I had.
So when you get your, I wouldn't say point of no return, but there is a point of no return. Did you go to the crossroads and unlock a door that allowed you to speak to somebody? Do you know what I'm talking about?
I don't know.
Okay. So at the crossroads, whenever you could go and kill the big demons and get their key that unlocks a door in the crossroads. There's certain ones that you can do that eventually unlock a special gift. That gift is that you go and meet Morgan. And when you go and meet Morgan in the crossroads, she reveals to you that she has a person inside of her that she has had since her mother Flemeth died. Her mother Flemeth had this soul inside of her, and it gifted to Morgan when she passed. And that is the soul of Solus's lover. I can't remember what her name was. One of the gods who knows these other gods. And a part of her soul is in Morgan. The other part is in the crossroads. So you can go and you can go talk to this spirit of this god. And you are basically playing rock, paper, scissors with this conversation. If you succeed, she will put her small part of her soul into the dagger that you can then hopefully use to convince Solus to stop what he's doing.
Oh, I didn't see any of that.
If you don't convince her, you have to fight a dragon that is basically like her rage or whatever. And if you beat the dragon, you get the same thing. This comes in at the very end. So I was able to do that. I was able to actually convince her to just join me.
Is that tied to like the wolf statues or anything else you have to do to get Solus's past?
Yes.
Do you have to have done all of those? Because I did most of those, but I didn't finish that part of it this either.
Yes. So there is one, you have to do all of those to get the past and understand where he's coming from. And then there's a door, I believe you have to unlock using one of the souls, I believe. If I remember correctly, it's been a while since I did this. Once you do all of the murals, and you unlock a door, I think you get like a quest of like, okay, we know the truth, so let's check out the crossroads. But then I come to a locked door, and I was like, oh, well, I gotta go get this soul of a demon, so I had to go hunt it down. And then that's when that whole thing happened.
Sounds like you're gearing up for what I think was the best ending.
Yeah.
Is that what you got in the end?
Yes.
Oh, nice.
So, well, all right. So, when we cut to the ending, there's basically two big things we got to do. We've wounded one of the gods. We have to take her out, and then we have to take out the other god. And during the battle with the first god, not Gilgamesh, what's the other one? Elganon. You have to choose certain people to lead certain parties.
This whole end section was long too. I feel like it was almost 2-3 hours.
Yeah, it was. So I decide who's going to lead my my second party that's going on this siege with me. So I chose Davrin. And they kept reiterating, I'm going to do whatever it takes. Okay? So during this big battle, Davrin sacrifices himself to make sure we kill her. And we do.
Yeah, that happened to me too, and I'm like, oh, how did he die? He was one of the ones I did have up to Hero of the Veilguard status.
So it does not matter what you choose or who you choose. Whoever you choose dies. So it was between, the choices I had was Davrin and Harding. Fun fact, Harding is my lover. Kind of glad I didn't do that. But I hated to see Davrin go. And for some reason, the Griffin followed with him. I'm just like, okay. That's on him.
Is it Assad? Is that his name?
Asan, yeah. So, Davrin is now officially dead. And then we move on to the next part, the next final run. And you have to choose a few more. You have to make a few more choices. The first choice is, who do you get to bring down these magical seals? And you choose between Nev and Balara. Who did you choose here?
Balara, I believe.
I did as well. And that person gets pulled into, I guess, a portal or whatever. And we lose her for a while.
Also, I was romancing Nev, so I'm like, I don't want her to be out on her own getting herself killed.
Well, there you go. So, once we get deeper into this part, we find Balara, and she has basically been kind of corrupted or
blighted.
Poisoned with this blight. And she can actually read the mind and see Gilganane's thoughts. So she is able to help us that way. And I'm like, oh boy, she's eventually going to turn or something. And then we go, we have a big, siege on his fortress. And we make these choices at the end. Basically, who's going to lead this party? Who's going to do this? Who's going to do that? Who's going to do this? And they give you kind of like I guess, I don't know what the best way to describe it, a hint.
Yeah, definitely they give you a hint, because they say make sure this person, you pick somebody who's good at something.
Yeah.
Either has the magical ability to take down wards, or someone who's known to be a frontline fighter or something like that.
Exactly. So, and you could tell when the game was thinking, because you'd see these cutscenes that I'm just like, this is completely out of the story, and it's just showing what actually happened to this person because of this choice. All my people survived, so I was able to save everybody with the exception of Davrin.
I ended up losing 3 people.
Really? So how did you lose people?
One of them, I thought I picked Davrin to lead an expedition, but it might have just been to hold the line or something. Balara definitely ended up getting blighted, because she was dismantling the wards, and then she was gone basically for the rest of the game. Wait a minute.
You said you chose... Oh, you talking about Davrin when you were fighting Elganon?
I think so, yeah.
Okay.
And then I lost Harding I don't know why. Again, I didn't know why I lost Harding, because I'm like, look, she was there. I went through her whole story. She was on my side.
She was a hero of the Veilguard?
She was a hero of the Veilguard.
Really?
Yep.
Was it like frontline person, or what was it?
I don't know exactly.
You remember what the choice was?
I don't remember exactly what the choice was with her. But it definitely tied into the whole end, right? When you start to talk regrets.
Yeah,
that was a big piece of it. I thought, well, my assumption was that that I had to lose her, or I had to lose somebody, and that I was going to pick somebody, and she was the one because she was all the way, she was a hero of the Veilguard, but then still died. I was like, I don't know what I could have done differently not to let her die.
I don't know. I did have her do something. I remember like somebody who's good at fighting mages, and I chose Lucanus.
Oh yeah,
because he was a mage killer. So
yeah.
I can't remember. The only other thing that I forgot to talk about was the big reveal, which I will fully admit that caught me off guard. I did not know that fact. Never saw it coming. Which was when we got basically captured in the veil.
Yeah.
So after you kill Elganon, there is a tear in the veil, and Solus takes this opportunity to pull you into the veil and come out of the veil. And so you're having to run through the veil, and you get to talk to the people that you've lost, which I'd only lost Davrin, so I was like, oh well, sorry man.
I think that one choice where you lost Davrin is where I lost Harding. I think that one was a guaranteed loss, so that you have something to regret at this point.
Yeah. And so, then it's revealed that, because the whole time you're talking, you're having like a voiceover with Varric. And then it's like, okay, well, it's time to learn the truth. And when you go, you have a replay of what happened at the very beginning of the game, and where Solus stabs Varric, and he doesn't survive. He's actually been dead this whole time. Yeah, he's been dead this whole time. And the Varric that you've been talking to in the lighthouse has been basically a figment of your imagination brought on by Solus. And I was like, okay, I definitely did not see that coming. So, Varric's been dead this whole time. And the thing is like, and I didn't want to piss off Harding, but Harding's been with me this whole time. And I was like, yo, why didn't you friggin' tell me? You know? And they were like, and both her and Nev played it off as like, well, we thought you were just grieving. Grieving this entire time and talking to an imaginary friend.
Yeah, it made me, I didn't really recall how much through the game we had actually like talked about him in the presence of others.
Yeah,
certainly
try to sixth sense it a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. Certainly, we as a player see him talking to Varric all the time, but did the others? Like, how weird would it have been for them?
Well, I know there was cutscenes where we're all sitting around like the war room talking, and Varric's there, and he'll say something, and I'm pretty sure Rook would respond. But I didn't pay attention. I didn't go back and look and see if it was something out of context.
Yeah. Or if someone made an offhanded comment to Rook's comment, just as a way, like, oh, I don't know why he said that, but unless you said, oh, hey, Varric, like, talk to him directly, it might not have been super obvious, but...
Right.
Yeah, I didn't go back and look.
So that kind of took me by surprise. I didn't see that coming. But,
It was a nice kind of emotional end, especially because I had lost a few people.
Mm-hmm.
Having Solus, no matter how many times we talk to this guy, he just keeps betraying us. Right? Yeah. Basically locking us in on the other side of the veil. So, it's a very simple section, right? I think there's a couple of really easy puzzles, but you're basically just walking to the end of this dreamlike sequence.
Yeah.
And confronting your regrets. And I didn't realize until after I watched a video just about. Maybe I just missed it in some of the cutscenes, but the idea that Solus was jealous of you because he wasn't able to confront his regrets in the same way that you were to be able to escape the Veil prison as quickly as we do.
Yeah.
So it's a weird thing because I'm playing the end of this game. I enjoyed the end of the game, and then you're getting these really emotional sequences. Rook having to have made decisions, people dying, and him having to come to grips to that. That's a legitimately difficult thing to imagine having to do.
Yeah. And
so I thought it was relatively well written. I thought it was relatively impactful. And so I wished there had been high points like that throughout the game, and not just all right at the end.
Yeah. No, I agree.
Because I did feel him overcome his struggles, and I'm like, wow, this is great. You did it.
So we have a plan. If we're able to kill Gilganame and stop him, we got to deal with Solus. Because Solus still wants to unleash the veil onto the world. To make up for all
saying
his
he would
past...
never do that.
Yeah, well, because he wants to make up for his past mistakes. So, all right, we have the boss fight with Gilganame. Didn't have much of an issue here throughout the rest of the game because it was to a point like the beginning of the game was kind of difficult because I was still learning how to do stuff. Once I learned how to actually time my blocks to where I could parry stuff, this game became way easier. And then I went through. I played as a warrior. What did you play as?
Mage.
Mage. Ooh, man, you played hard mode.
Yeah, I feel
tried
like
Mage and I was like, nah, this ain't it for me, man.
I feel like I wish I had been able to level up way more than I did, because so much of the skill tree was left incomplete.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like there were so many potential synergies, and again, going back to what we talked about in the first recording, the combat I did enjoy. I thought it became maybe a little bit formulaic in the way that you link up.
It did.
The way you link up sort of the attributes and then the detonations.
Yep. That's all it was.
So I didn't mind it when the game took people away from us, because it does that a few times. And I thought that was helpful in that it forces you to use some other combinations, and you can even evolve what people can detonate a bit. So, I thought there was some evolution there, but I wish I had been able to, I don't know, not that I wanted to spend another 30 or 40 hours with the game, but I could have kept leveling up, and, it might have opened up more interesting combos, but in the end it would have just been a different combo from the same thing that I've been doing the whole game anyway, so.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I pretty much...
minuses with the combat.
The warrior one, I kind of just I was big on the shield throw, so I had made it to where it would bounce off 6 guys.
Yeah.
And it could charge up 4 times. And then I also spec'd into the Night Watch specialization, so I was doing a bunch of necrotic damage, and I had it to where my projectile damage was 150% more And so I had a bunch of projectile stuff I was throwing. And like once you hit something with necrotic, it's just constantly ticking down their health. Now, granted, Darkspawn are resistant to necrotic, so that was kind of annoying. But bosses, I mean, I could kind of melt them, you know.
Yeah.
And if they were doing something where I couldn't hit them, I had necrotic on them, so their health they were still taking damage while doing their crap.
Yeah, I kept Rook mostly as a lightning mage.
The issue I had with the combat, which I think we talked about in the last episode, and I know we've talked ad nauseum on N4G, or excuse me, ZTGD radio, is that the fact that Rook is always aggroed, like even your two warrior characters that you have in your party have like a taunt that lasts maybe 5 seconds. So like for me, I played probably about 2 hours of the mage, and I was like, dude, everybody is rushing me, and I'm supposed to be in the back lines throwing fireballs. This sucks. And I was just like, I can't do this. And I was just like, really? Like, every enemy just aggroes to you? Like this, it didn't feel like a proper role-playing game. It felt like an action game.
Yeah.
And my party members were just there. And the only thing they ever did was either heal me or do an ability that then comboed into a detonation. That was it. Their standard attacks did jack, everything. I was just like, this ain't it.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, we get the end, and everybody is there. We got, excuse me. We've got the Inquisitor there. We've got Morgan there. We're all trying to convince Solus close the veil. He's there. He's got the dagger. Now we do have some options. The original option I think that everybody gets is trick him into taking the fake dagger, and then we use the dagger on him and throw him back into the veil.
Yeah, that's what I did.
That's what you did? Yeah. And the other one was,
I think there was the option to fight him or trick him, basically.
Yeah, fight him or trick him. I think those were the only two options that you had. But if you did what I did and got the soul of his lover with you, you could bring her out, and she convinces him to close up the veil and go into the veil. And that's what he did. He basically went back into the veil and closed it up behind him.
It's a nice bit of redemption that he doesn't get in my game.
Yeah. So you tricked him and kicked him back in?
Yep.
As he vow vengeance?
Yep.
Yeah. Well, he's not going to get it. Because, well, I don't think we're ever going to get another Dragon Age game.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy to think about.
Well, all right. If we think about it, this game took 10 years to make. It went through development hell. It was originally going to be a live service game where your party members, you could basically play as a party member and do live service stuff, like party up with, I'm playing as Balara and my friend over here is playing as Nev, and we're going to do this. And then they said, no, we can't do that. We're going to change it up. And then they turned it into a single player role playing game. And you can see it. Like, the seams are not stitched together as good as they probably should have done.
Yeah.
And they also made giant changes to the look of the game. To be honest with you, every Dragon Age game looks different, if you think about it.
Yeah.
Dragon Age Origins was very gritty, very kind of like realish looking, very violent. Dragon Age 2 tried to keep the violence there, but made it a little bit more CGI-ish looking. And then they tried to course correct with Inquisition and make it more serious looking, but while at the same time making it more colorful. And then they just went full like Disney characters with this one.
Yeah, it's weird. It does feel like no one was steering the ship.
Yeah. All in all, I would say it was an enjoyable experience. Definitely the last half is more enjoyable for me. This game was probably 20 hours too long.
Yeah. If this had been a nice, tight story, I think the story would have been vastly improved. I'd hope you'd still get some of the faction stuff, definitely the character quests. And then, the overall story, it could have been tight. I mean, would it have still been an RPG if it was 20 hours less? What would it have even been if it was a 20, 25-hour game?
I mean, yeah. I don't know. The problem is it is a far cry from Dragon Age Origins. And and it shows. It shows. I mean, it's like the sales were kind of rough. They pretty much, like, every Dragon Age game has had some sort of DLC content. This one, they just basically said, no, we're done with this game. We're not doing anything else with it. They kind of just abandoned it. Like, they're like, put it out there and be done.
Which is kind of tough because I feel like with as much negative press as this game got, you'd want something at the end to try and change the narrative. Right? I'm always thinking something like No Man's Sky still putting out content.
Yeah.
And how completely they changed the narrative on that game from, a couple months after its launch to where it is today.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And they did that just by pumping more value into it, I guess, if you will. But to rule that out for Veilguard, man, you are really abandoning it. It's like you never want to see it again.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. It's like BioWare is a shadow of its former self, too.
Yeah. But it's tough because that's like a business decision. Like,
yeah,
you're choosing to leave this sour taste in people's mouths. I mean, it really seems like it comes down to, I would rather not spend the money on this, even if it's going to put the nail in the coffin of this franchise.
Yeah.
Which is just wild because it should be such a big franchise.
Yeah. I mean, and to be honest with you, as far as like the game goes, the only what could they do next other than Solace escapes and comes back again,
Yeah.
And we're going back through the rigmarole. Yeah, I don't know. I hate that because I'm going to be honest with you. If you'd have asked me, honestly, if you'd asked me 10 years ago, I would say that Dragon Age is probably one of my favorite game franchises. Like, ever. Right up there with Resident Evil and Metal Gear.
Yeah.
So, I hate to see that. Like, Dragon Age Origins is one of the best games I've ever played. I've played through that game 3 times. And that's a long game.
It is fantastic. And when I came to realize that they were structuring this game a lot like Mass Effect 2, I kind of said, all right, I guess we could do this again if we need to. It made me think a little bit of The Force Awakens and how they, the impression there is we want something new, but we want it to be very similar to what you already know.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And essentially saying, hey, people like Mass Effect 2, why don't we just do that again, but for Dragon Age? And while that approach can work, it also needs the full execution, which it maybe didn't really get. And, for a while I thought, all right, this is going to be a great structure for the game. And in some ways, those were the parts I liked the best, so maybe that wasn't the worst decision, but overall, I just don't think the execution supported the concept, essentially.
Yeah. Yep. I agree. Sad to say. Huh. So, yeah. Final thoughts. I think it was a decent game. I'd give it probably a solid, I don't know. Overall, the entire package is maybe like a 6.5 for me. It's decent.
Yeah.
Too much filler in there, and it took way too long for the story to kick in. I think it had great characters. I think it had fantastic music. I thought the music was great in it. And the vistas look great. Like the environments were awesome. The world
itself, I mean, top notch, definitely.
But man, like the art style of the characters, the pacing really had some issues, and then honestly the combat. Like every time I got into a combat sequence, I was just like, okay. And then I was just like, I just want just let me talk to people. You know?
Yeah. Let me meander and navigate and discover.
Yeah,
I feel like it was very scripted. Maybe not necessarily linear, but everything is so structured and so like, all right, we're gonna do this. Like if a movie's been sort of group screened, and we're gonna polish off every single rough edge. We're gonna just make it so streamlined and so clean. It felt like it missed that realness, the grittiness, the realness, all the stuff that I really wanted out of the game. That would have complemented, an okay story and beautiful landscapes and decent characters. It's just something about, I think you said at the beginning best, which is the parts are better than the sum.
Yep.
There are really good parts of this game, and for the most part I enjoyed it. And, I guess I'd rather it ends on a strong note than starts strong and fizzles. Because, the last 10, 15 hours of the game, I really did enjoy it. I really liked doing the character quests and gaining their approval and camaraderie, and then stopping two gods. I mean, it's epic in at least the basic sense of the word.
Yeah. It just felt lifeless.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. That was Dragon Age the Veilguard. Took us a year.
So if
the next one won't hopefully take us that long.
If the thought is that team is now moved on to Mass Effect 5?
I'm assuming that's what their next project is.
That's what I've heard. What are your hopes and expectations for that?
Well,
because that franchise has been a little bit degraded, a little bit eroded as well.
Honestly, I got maybe 2-3 hours into Andromeda and turned it off.
Yeah, me too.
I had no interest in playing that. I didn't care about the characters. I didn't care about anything in that game.
My first impression was, wow, what a wasted opportunity for First Contact.
You just start shooting.
You just start shooting immediately.
So anyway, I started blasting.
There's no wonder. There's no... I don't know. All the things I would expect out of a First Contact weren't there.
I don't know, man. Like BioWare's made some decisions. So what their last 3 games were what? Andromeda, the Veilguard, and Anthem. All 3 were kind of flops.
Yeah, I bought my copy of Anthem for $4, I think.
I think that game officially goes offline either this month or next month.
Yeah, I guess I better put it.
So,
I guess I better get 5 minutes worth of value, or my $4 worth out of it.
You can't. I mean, because that's the thing is, even though it has single player content, it is a online only game. Once those servers go off, you have a coaster.
Yeah. Sad.
Mm-hmm. I don't know, man. Some of the biggest, like BioWare, man, like they made gold back in the day.
Do you think they have one more in them?
Well, this may be the last one they have.
Yeah, they better have a good one in them, or it might be the last one anyway.
Well, my thing is like, if you think about it, when the heck will the next Mass Effect come out? Because it took them 10 years to do the Veilguard.
I think they have to. That has to be seen as a contributing factor to why it was not better received.
Yeah.
Right? They have to know that a shorter turnaround time, a focused approach. I mean, how could you expect to run a company otherwise?
Well, that's the thing is, like, I think when they got bought out by EA, I think that was kind of like, EA made them do things that they didn't want to do or wouldn't normally do. Which happened, Mass Effect 2? Was it Mass Effect 2 the first EA published BioWare game?
Yeah, it might have been.
And they were already working on Mass Effect 2, I'm assuming. So then Mass Effect 3 came out, and we all remember how that ended. And then everything from there. I don't know, man. Like, it's sad to see.
Yeah, who takes the crown then?
As good RPG makers?
Yeah, as consistent RPG makers.
Dude, that's a hard one.
Because I feel like there's good games good RPGs. Obviously, they're still being made, but I feel like when BioWare was on the roll, it was nice to know that you had like this unlimited supply, essentially. Multiple franchises, iteration after iteration.
That's a good question.
And now,
who
has that size or scope?
I would say maybe CD Projekt Red, but I know they had issues with Cyberpunk, which from what I hear, I've put 3 hours into Cyberpunk whenever it first came out, and it was glitchy as all get out, so I stopped playing. But I have heard that Cyberpunk 2077 is actually a very good game.
Yeah.
I have not played it.
I haven't gotten very far in it, which is tough because I feel like I would never want to.
Oops, sorry.
And I don't mentally say like, oh, this game's glitchy or it's got a rough start, I'm not gonna finish it. I maybe it's just like the small attention span. I feel like once it's out of my excitement radius, then I just don't even. I haven't gotten back to it. Right? Like I've read so many good articles about how Cyberpunk has evolved, and I'm still generally interested in the concept. I would like to play it. I just have little enough time and tend to be focused elsewhere lately and just have never touched it again. So I don't condemn them for the rough start, but I guess my actions say that I do.
Well, my theory was I will come back to this when they patch it.
Yeah.
And I mean, that game's 3 years old at this point?
Yep.
And it's been patched. Everybody says it runs pretty good now. It's a good game. I probably should play it. It's been on my Xbox hard drive ever since day one, and I haven't touched it. So, I don't know. But man, that is a really good question though. Who is the premier RPG maker now? I wouldn't say Square Enix.
Yeah.
I mean, they've made some choices.
Yeah, I mean, they're at least still going, I guess.
Yeah.
Something to say. They haven't flamed out, even if not everything's a masterpiece.
Man, that is, I don't know. That's a good question. I would say CD Projekt Red. I mean, The Witcher 3 is a masterpiece in my opinion.
Yeah.
Witcher 2 is really, really good. Witcher 1 is very difficult to go back to. And then they got The Witcher 4 coming out, next year? I think.
Yeah. We'll be looking forward to that.
Yeah. I will be there day one. And it'll probably be glitchy, and I will probably say I'll wait for some patches. I don't
know. Hopefully not 3 years plus.
Yeah, right. Honestly, like one of the best games I've played in probably 5 years. Like one of my favorite games I've played in the past 5 years is Balatro. I'm still addicted to that game. Every week I'm probably doing a couple of runs of Balatro, and I've done almost everything in that game other than get the gold chip on every Joker. But I've unlocked everything in that game. I've unlocked every challenge. I haven't completed every challenge, but I've done everything in that game for the most part. Or tried to.
I did recently finish it again, so I finished my third win.
Oh, okay.
So still playing it. For some reason, the yellow one, I don't know why, it should have been easier than the first two, but it took me longer.
The yellow one is not as awesome as you may think.
Starting with $10.
Starting with an extra $10. I mean, once you get the synergies going, dude, you can easily. I'll have runs where I got like $300 on me.
Yeah.
So now there is a deck in there called the Plasma deck, which is kind of crazy because you have to change out how you play that game. Basically, what it does is it makes everything balanced. So. Let's say your chip count and your multiplier.
Yeah.
So let's say and it has to balance each other out. So if your chips, I'll use it as a small example, but if your chips are 10 and your multiplier is 2, they meet in the middle. So now your chips are actually 5 and your multiplier is 4.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So it benefits to have, and getting higher chips is easier in that game than it is to get multipliers. So that can turn into an easy chip run for you kind of thing. It's dude, there's so many things. Dude, the challenges in that game, there's challenges where they have different rules, and there's the last challenge is Jokerless run. You have to beat a run without Jokers don't even show up.
How is that even possible?
You have to modify your deck with glass cards, wild cards, and then improve your hands with planet cards.
Wow! Essentially, max every single other thing out.
Yes.
What
one? I don't know if I could do that.
What percentage of runs that you start do you win?
Well, see, that's the thing is I haven't done a run in a long time. I've just been doing challenges, which I fail constantly. I do get really lucky, good RNG or good strategy, and will beat a challenge. So I think there's 20 challenges in the game. They're all with different themes, and rules. But I mean, I could sit down on the white difficulty, which is the regular difficulty, and I can beat it with any deck. One run.
Like you would expect to win any given run?
Yes. Now, when you get to the higher difficulties, so you got black chip, black difficulty, green difficulty, which stack. So, white difficulty, and then there's one difficulty where small blinds give you no money at the end, and then let's say there's another difficulty where you have -1 hand size. Those stack on top of each other. So not only do my small blinds no longer give me money, now I also have one less hand or one less card in my hand.
Yeah.
And it goes up 6 difficulties. So you stacking 6 of those difficulties on top of each other and trying to do a run. I've only done that twice with 2 different decks. There's an achievement for beating the gold stake difficulty with every deck, and I've only currently done it with 2.
Wow.
That's like the ultimate test.
I feel like most runs I'm doing okay, and then all of a sudden I'll just hit one that's win with one hand. And then I'm just I can't do that.
Oh, the needle?
Yeah.
Yeah, the needle can end a run, but I'll tell you this: there's some of those like the big bosses, the final ones on ante number 8.
Yeah,
some of those suck. So, and then there's also have you found a legendary Joker yet?
I don't
know. You would know. There's only 5 in the game, and each one is insane. So there's one where this Joker gets ×1 for every card you destroy in your deck.
Oh, wow.
There's one where every king and queen you play gives ×2. So if you build an entire deck of just king and queens, imagine what that would do.
Yeah, that's crazy. I feel like the one Joker that's won me the most games has been the one that just says copy the Joker to your right.
No, yeah, that's a good one. So that's the blueprint.
Like the Hanging Chad one, I think, right?
No, Hanging Chad means the first card that's played gets counted 3 times.
Yeah, that one. That's the other one I like a lot. Those are like my 2 favorites, I think.
Yeah. The Blueprint's a really good one. Blueprint, and there's also one called Brainstorm, I think is what it's called. And Brainstorm does the same thing, except it copies the effect of the leftmost Joker. So remember, you can move your Jokers around on the board.
Yep.
In fact, I suggest you do that, because if you have a Joker that gives you time something, you want to have it at the back of on the far right, because the Jokers that give you plus to your multiplier go first
before you multiply.
Yep. Correct. And then you can also choose which card gets played first. So if you're playing a flush, you can do, because you know how it goes by, like king, queen, jack, that kind of thing. So if let's say you have a glass card that's a king, and it gives ×2, because glass cards give you ×2. You can move that king all the way to the end, and it's the last card to get counted, so that ×2 affects it. There are so many things about Balatro that people don't know that I'm still learning about. There's synergies. Dude, I've got like 20-something days in that game.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Like that game is something else.
Yeah, I've only scratched the surface, but it just seems like the kind of game you could play forever.
You can. You certainly can. Because it's all random. And as far as legendary Jokers go, you will find a card, or it's in spectral packs, and you'll know it because it's purple and it glows and it vibrates. And you can use it to get a legendary Joker. So always, if you ever see something like that in a spectral in a spectral pack, always use it, because it gives you a legendary Joker.
Oh, really? Is that the only way to get them?
Yes. Yeah, they don't show up in the store or anything like that.
Interesting.
So.
Yeah, I kind of want to play that now.
Yeah, no, there's your Balatro minute. But that's it. I have, 2 things. One, I have now got access back to my email, which is drew@ztgd.com. So if you'd like to send an email, please send us an email. And then also I have access to our Phoenix Down Twitter account. I had lost access to both of those because I got a new phone. And to be honest with you, I don't really use Twitter anymore. And we haven't done a show in so long, I kind of just forgot about it. And then I was like, oh yeah, I probably need to get that stuff back. So I do have access to that stuff now. But yeah, our next game we've already selected it. We've actually started it. Both of us have already started it. Is going to be Clair Obscur Expedition 33.
Yeah, I'm very excited to get into this game.
I have made it a little bit farther than you have, and I can safely say this is going to be a fantastic game. I am highly excited to see what the heck is going on in this game. So
yeah, I love the mystery. I've just heard so many good things about it, which I'm trying to not let them overinflate my expectations, because going into this, I'm like, that's the one thing that might ruin this for me, is that I've just heard so many good things about it that if it's a good game, not a great game, it'll feel like a disappointment.
Yep. Overhype.
Yep.
Yeah. Yep. But we're going to be doing that. I'm going to try and be a little bit more consistent with our recordings. Obviously, I don't think we're going to be able to do every week, but I'm going to try to be a little bit more than, hey, let's every 5 months do something.
Yeah.
So, from what I understand, Clair Obscur is broken up into acts. Like, Act 1, 2, 3. So, I'd say we'll probably just play till we make it to the end of Act 1. Or, I think they're named after the characters. I can't remember. But, yeah, at the end of Act 1, we'll be in communication with each other. Hey, I finished Act 1. Okay, cool. I did too. All right, let's record, kind of thing.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah. But that's going to be it for us. We're going to get out of here. Thank you all for listening. We're going to try to get more consistent with this stuff. I know it's been a long time. So if you're back from our long hiatus, welcome. Thank you for sticking with us, staying in your RSS feed.
Yeah, summer vacation's over.
Yep, summer vacation is over. We're back in school. But that's going to be it for us. I hope you guys have a great one. And thank you for listening. And until next time, I am Drew.
And I'm Matt.
And we're out of here. You guys have a great week, month, however long it takes us. And we'll be back next time with Clair Obscur Expedition 33.